So ELCOACHCASEY back again, representing DarkGrey with another gloves and gain method exercise. We're boxing, obviously we're in the boxing ring. With me today I have Jesse, no fight experience, just started boxing. And then I also have Mike, the Joker Minta, 1-0 professional boxer. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna work on punch technique, and specifically the punch that we're working on is the left hand to the body. So this is the lead hand to the body that I'll go ahead and say, because lead hand would be whatever hand is in front. If you're an Orthodox fighter and your left foot is forward, your left hand is forward. If you're a Southpaw fighter, your right hand is forward and your right hand is forward. So this is going to be a lead hook to the body. Now I already know, why is this important? Because we need to make sure that our punch technique and our technique is correct for what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to do. Now the left hand to the body, we're looking specifically to aim for the liver area. Now an anatomy standpoint, the liver area is about right here. So you can get to it around the elbow, or you can get to it up the middle of the elbow, depending on where your opponent's hands are at, right? So whether you're just doing this for fun, or whether you're doing this from a realistic standpoint because you compete, that's what you're aiming for when you're shooting a left hand to the body, for the most part. Now the next question is, should I turn my toe or not? That's what you'll see a lot of coaches talk about. Should you turn your toe in the left hand? The easy answer for you is everything's situational until it's conditional, then it's situational again. So what I do with my punch technique is dependent on my position according to my opponent's position. And so the way that we would kind of look into this is if me and Mike are here, and if you notice he's in a position where this is going to be where his liver is. Come up a little bit more this way. This is going to be where his liver is right here, right? So now my question to you is, every single time that we throw a punch, we are changing positions. Well, that's my answer to you. Every single time that we throw a punch, we're changing positions. What position we end up in needs to be advantageous for us, because if it's not, it's going to be advantageous for our opponent. So depending on where Mike is at, right? If I turn this left hand, or this left toe over for this hook, I'm lining myself up for one of his shots, which is going to be a big right hand. The thing about punching is you do have to commit to your punches. So when I turn to throw this shot as hard as I can, I need to finish my movement before I can do anything else. And if Mike is a good boxer as far as being a pro right now, he's looking to counter my shot. So if I turn this over, he already started throwing the right hand before I even finish. I don't have enough time to go ahead and do anything. So my best option here may be not to go ahead and turn the toe so I don't get myself in a new position to get hit with the next shot. Now, obviously, there's other openings for me, but I need to understand that when I turn this shot over, I'm not changing positions. Because if I do change positions here, I'm lining myself up for the right hand. So that's the answer for this specific thing that we're trying to go ahead and work on. So right now, when we throw this lead hand to the body, we are not turning the toe because we don't want to get ourselves into a new position. So now let's talk about the punch technique. The good thing about it is I'm going to have Jesse go first. One of the things that we're working on with Jesse is making sure that he turns his shots over completely, and that also that his hand position when he lands this shot is in a good place. So if you guys can see, there is a white target that we're looking for. He needs to land with his eyes to make sure that he's hitting on the white. I'm going to make sure that he leaves his glove on the punch round or the punch donut so I can make sure all of his technique is perfect. And he's going to try to get as much power as he can off of this shot, right? So let's get into position for this shot. Come a little bit more over because I'm on the back foot right now. Make sure that that hand is good. And when you shoot this shot, I want you to leave the left hand right here. So go ahead, land that shot. Stay there. There it is. And so for you, if you notice, and this is very important as well, because as a coach, when I go through drills with mitts, or I go through drills with noodles or shadow boxing, whatever we do, right? I'm his first look at an opponent. So I get to see if he's doing everything correctly according to the position where I'm at, right? So now if we go here, I'm taking a look where, yes, his left hand's in a good place, but realistically right now, the big shot that he's worried about is a rear uppercut. So if he shoots that shot to the body right now, the rear uppercut's coming up there, and if you see, that's where his face is exposed. So part of punch technique is making sure that your hands are in the correct position. So if I am back here and he shoots that left to the body, where should his hands go for the next shot? Where should you put your hand for the next shot that's coming? You got one free hand. Where should you put it? Like that, or should it be open? There it is. So once again, everything's situational until it's conditional, then it's situational. So yes, you do want to have good technique, But most people are thinking about the technique there. Well, that's right for the situation if I'm over here so he doesn't get hit with the left hook. But if I'm right here, the open space for me is right there. So situational till it's conditional, and then it's still situational. So that's the reason why we're doing it like that. Now we're going to get a couple reps as far as for the left hand to the body to make sure everything's perfect. Go ahead, right there. Shot, where's that hand supposed to be? Good. And then I want you to end the position right there. Go ahead, go again. Again. Good. One more. Again, leave it there. There it is. One more. Perfect. So obviously the reps and the technique aren't perfect, but over time, as we complete this over and over and over and over again, to where you can't do it wrong under any circumstance, whether it be fatigue, whether it be something going on with your life beforehand, the reps are what's gonna go ahead and fix it. But we do need the correct intentions behind the reps. So that is the left hand to the body. We're gonna have Mike do it as well.
I'm gonna get some Velcro gloves.
Nah, you're bougie. You can go ahead and get away with it. You always got a coach with you. You guys are prima donnas. You guys get your gloves tied for everything.
We got a
like me and Jesse, we got to get the lacing loops. You know what I mean? We don't get to be prima donna like you, where it's like, hey, tie my gloves. Hey, pour water in my mouth. Hey, I got snot in my nose. Get it out. Oh, I'm bleeding. Wipe the blood out. Like, bro, y'all get everything. But y'all deserve it too, because y'all be getting punched in the face all the time. So you know what I mean? So if anybody deserves this, it's y'all.
Like, man, y'all get punched for a living, yeah.
Yeah, that's why the coach got to be the coach and the support team got to be support team. Oh, I just want to be in front. It's like you're not the one sparring every single day. You're not the one that got to run the miles. You don't got to diet. You ain't getting punched in the face with 8-ounce gloves that feel like straight knuckle. Like, you know what I mean? You're not going through that. So why are you trying to be in the front? You know what I mean? Be the support system. All right. Let's go right here. Good position. Good. Land. Hold it there for me afterwards. Stay there. Better, a little better. There it is. So I'm gonna fix it for you right here. So look, even if you notice with Mike, who's a pro, right? And this is the reason why this works from pros all the way down. Zero boxing experience to some boxing experience to amateur to elite amateur to small time pro to elite pro. All these things can be worked on and fixed. So if we look at Mike and him throwing the shot right now, I need you to turn your right toe more to be on your front foot all the way, right? When you end this shot, you cannot put your right heel down because now your head slot is changing a position to be on your back foot and still lining you up for the right hand.
Okay,
so everything needs to go and happen through this first lead heel. And then for me, what I call this is the Elvis Presley leg. And the reason why is because if you notice, Elvis Presley was doing one of these, right? So when I finish this left hand, I'm in that position. In that position from a strength and conditioning standpoint, which should be something that you can work on as well, is Mike is going to be squeezing his glute as hard as he can to dig his heel into the ground as tight as he can. So the power comes from all the way up through his hand. So if you guys think about a whip, if I were to whip and I have a whip connected to my hand and I whip and I make contact with something, the only way that power goes through with the whip is if I keep it in my hand. If I use a whip and I let go of the whip, that power goes everywhere else. So the only way that this power can transfer from all the way up to down is if he leaves the base of his foot where it needs to be. If he moves his foot, that power is going to go his way as well. So he's looking to dig into the ground as hard as he can and squeeze his butt as well at the same time. Let's go. You can't keep the heel down because now if you notice your head went back to it. A little better. Again. A little better. Again. Good, there we go. So now if you guys see, we did it from the side. We're going to do a couple as far as where the back is towards me so you can see where his head slot goes. So wait on it. So turn that toe a little bit more. So before you throw it. If you guys notice, you can still see his head slot past my body. Now, when he shoots the shot, the question for you guys, can you still see his head? If you can, he's still somewhat in that front foot position, which means he hasn't loaded himself up for a right hand. Now, if you notice his toe, it can't be turned.
Oh, snap.
And if you notice, that's why his head slot changed. So keep that right toe turned, and then you're going to keep that heel on the ground. Keep the heel on the ground. Keep the heel on the ground. So for you, that's a glute thing, right? So for you, it's going to be there.
Okay.
You see how I twist like that?
Yeah.
So I should almost be bladed as far as for the option for me, and then the rear uppercut's coming from there. So I'm squeezing the butt as tight as I can.
Makes sense.
So see it again? Squeeze the butt as tight as you can. A little better, but look, I want you to straighten that leg as tight as you can. Better.
Oh, you wanted that. Okay.
A little better, but straighten that leg. Straighten the left leg more. Dig it into the ground. A little better. But here's another thing about it. Ooh! This is the reason why it's important as well. And it's the reason why I do strength and conditioning, and it's the reason why the gloves and gains method includes strength and conditioning, strategic bodybuilding, fun nutrition, but then the boxing as well. Because for me as a strength and conditioning coach, I get to look at if somebody's able to get into a position. And so if you notice here, if we were to ask Mike, is there anything wrong with the left side of your body, the reason why it's hard for you to squeeze your butt all the way?
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
Weakness. Haven't participated in any strength and conditioning, so it's a lot of weakness in the glutes and the knee area.
So that's the answer, right? And so as a coach, I can go ahead and see, like, he knows that he's supposed to be able to get into this position, but what's preventing him from getting into this position? So what we would do with Mike on the outside of this as a bonus is we would make sure that we strengthen his glutes, right? We need to make sure that we strengthen his quads, right? We need to make sure that he's able to rotate below the knee with his tibia. We also want to make sure that his ankle rotation is good, and we also want to know that he knows about the balls of his feet and where his point of contact needs to be with his feet. Now, we can rep this correctly, but when we talk about mobility, which is flexibility and strength through the entire range of motion, flexibility is your ability to get into a position. Strength is your ability to maintain or hold that position. So for him, we would work on that left side of the body. So now when he needs to get into a position for that left hand to the body, it looks better. But that is throwing the left to the body from start to finish, from zero experience all the way up to pros, and then a little bit of strength and conditioning there for you to help that position. But that's it for today.
We gonna get better. It's the first episode of.
It's more than the first episode, but yeah.
Well, yeah.